Well, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to another episode of The Watch with me, your host, Jean-Lucas. Let's try and make some noise. Clap, hit it up, get excited away. Wherever you are, we're back with another action-packed show for today with a whole host of things to talk about, like with the fact Fabio Wardley does it again. My goodness, can you believe it? Shocking all, above us all, with us seeing him knock out Joseph Parker in a stoppage. It's very controversial. We're going to talk about it now instead of the almost imminent opportunity for him versus Usyk. We're going to react to that fight. We also got some reactions with some comeback news coming in the works, at least reported by my commentator himself. Floyd Mayweather's back? Excuse me? I'm sorry. What type of decade is this? Well, all of a sudden, the greatest of the 2010s are starting to come back into the woodwork, into legitimate fights and actual title contention. This is insane. This is ridiculous. I'm not going to lie, this is something I didn't expect. Show love is something that has me in very much, shoot, I ain't got the words to describe it. I'm just all excited because the possibilities are endless. Who is he going to fight? None other than potentially Manny Pacquiao in a rematch. Yes, we might actually get Floyd and Pacquiao to actually happening in 2020 when it happened in 2010 or in the 2010s. All them years ago. My goodness, it's insane. And it's, again, just tip of the iceberg. So much things to discuss. So much conversation surrounding the boxing world and the sports world as a whole. Let's do a proper intro before we even get delve into all this. Hey, if you're just tuning in, subscribe to the channel. Come on. Come on. There we go. Come on. Come join the empire. Come be a part of this monolith and this monumental type of community that we're building up together. Be sure to leave a like on the video. Be sure to comment your thoughts and opinions in the chat so we can pull it up on screen for you all to be able to be seen and heard all across the globe. Also, be sure to hit the notification bell so you know exactly when we post on right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform imaginable. Rate us 5 stars there. And without further ado, we got to jump. Oh, yeah. We did everyone support the channel as well. We got Cash App and PayPal. You can see it on the screen. You can see it in the description. But we ain't got time for that. We got sports to talk about. We got boxing to discuss. And so with all that being said, it is time to step into the ring. Oh, yes. Let's ring the bell. Let's get it started. Round 1 of the show going underway as we have to discuss one of the biggest we gotta call it an upset. One of the bigger upsets that we've had in the heavyweight world of boxing just happened over the course of the weekend with Fabio Wardley. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I got that backward. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on, wait a second. I got it. Hold. That ain't how it happened. Hold on. Not Parker knocking out Wardley. Fabio Wardley knocked out Joseph Parker. My goodness. Great day. Lord knows. Who would have thought? Not me. I was wrong.
Hey, look at this.
No.
We got some problems here.
Lord. Against all odds and against the very fabric of reality that we all know and love as correct and incorrect things. Brother, I was wrong. And this man, Fabio Wardley, in the biggest fight of his life, when it was going to be the precipice of greatness or bumping back down the ladder in his relatively young career, all of a sudden came back. Not just came back, but pulled off the impossible yet again. He did it. Hey, look, the man went back to the well, and the well still had water. The man was able to do the impossible twice in a row, down on the cards, going into wasn't it the 11th round? And I'd say we will see Joseph Parker knock him out in the 11th round. Lord knows, all of a sudden, this man gets on a tear, actually gets a stoppage. Now, we all understand there's some controversy surrounding the stoppage. Absolutely, and we will delve into that. But I just got to give my due diligence to tell y'all, hey, what I thought wasn't going to happen absolutely happened. When it comes to Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley, everybody I could think of, I was telling, there's no way that we see the same Fabio Wardley show up against Joseph Parker that showed up against Justice Hooney and be able to have the same level of rabbit out of his hat type of miracle work to be able to get a win when he was being outboxed, when he was being beaten, when he was being beat to the punch, when he was being rocked, when he was being pushed to the ropes, when he wasn't able to connect. I was thinking if it looks anything similar to what would happen with Justice Honey, there would be no way in the world that we would have a repeat of what happened all those months ago with Justice Honey, and all of a sudden this man gets a saving grace and a Hail Mary that actually puts an end to the show. And Lord knows it happened yet again, and to my shock and surprise, I was jumping up and down in my room in disgust. Disgust, I tell you. And no, it's not because I'm not a fan of Fabio Wardley. Hey, I love the heart on the butt. I love that he's so diligent too, being able to bite down on his mouthpiece and just say, we're going to go to war. I love all of that. I am not going against any of that. I am not going to detract from that. But what I am going to say is that I was so frustrated because now we are delving into the same thing that we got into with Deontay Wilder. Again, the UK Deontay Wilder is the apropos name because this man done did it again, just like with Wilder. When he needs an answer, he got an answer. Didn't matter what was coming his way. Didn't matter what the obstacle was. Didn't matter the opponent. Didn't matter how far behind he was. He just needed 1 second to be perfect. And he got it. No matter how much of a rudimentary fighter that he is, and granted, he's even admitted himself, hey, I'm not the best technical savant when it comes to this sport. I love it when a fighter is able to understand what they are, and it's plain and blunt with it. No problem there. It's just the fact that he shouldn't be getting away with this stuff. Yet he still is. Yet he still is able to now get himself in prime position to face off against the baddest man in all the land, in Alexander Usyk, for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. When many people said it was impossible, now it's a reality. And Lord, my word, do we have a lot to discuss. First off, before we even get to anything, we got to talk about the fight. Was it a good stoppage? That's the biggest question. That's what got everybody up in arms. That's the topic that has everybody in very much intrigue when it comes to the end of this fight. Because again, the fight itself was incredible. The fight itself was a phenomenal heavyweight war. It was an incredible situation of ebbs and flows, constant back and forth, people going, really going at each other, looking to take advantage of the moment and the urgency of the moment. Because again, this was Joseph Parker's second stint at becoming a heavyweight champion again, and he was one fight away. He had been one fight away for the past 3 fights. And if he had lost at any point in time, we understood, hey, sadly, he's going to move back down the line. Not drastically far. Because again, he was considered by most to be the third or second best heavyweight in the world. Especially what he had done in his recent run. But even still, you don't want to get to a point where you're bumped back down and you got to wait yet again to have your opportunity. He was in that crossroads. When it came to Fabio Wardley, young career, incredibly high, brother who's coming up, but at the same vein, he is somebody who, if you lose early, will be forgotten. Well, not forgotten, but then it's a longer run than you would like at this stage in the career when you're already near the cusp, especially with somebody who's got this much inexperience. Oh my gosh, opportunity you can't waste. And they went to war. I'm talking about they were trading blows to each other, rocking each other directly after one would hurt the other. Joseph Parker landing bombs, Fabio Wardley landing bombs. Joseph Parker getting the better of Fabio Wardley, being able to box, being able to use some of the same tactics as just Sunni, being able to have the same degree or a similar degree of offensive overwhelming, like with Sunni. But Wardley, again, weathered the storm and kept on moving. We even saw Wardley utilize better boxing than he had in the past, especially against that Justice Honey fight with the last outing that we've seen him in. Yeah, Fabio Wardley looked better. But at the same time, Fabio Wardley wasn't better. in this fight. And as the fight went on, yet again, the same situation happened. He got tired. He ran out of tools in his tool belt. He went through everything he could have done and then had to go rely on his chin yet again, which again, we knew was going to happen. It's his style. We can't stop it. What we do know is it's going to get harder and harder to win. But even still, he kept on going through with it and kept on just trying to fight his way out of it. And if anything, I dare say that he was in a worse spot with this fight than he was with Justice Tony from the standpoint of his stamina level. He was more exhausted in this fight by the time it ended than he was against Justice Tony, because he was doing everything possible to try to get the momentum out of Joseph Parker's hands, especially when he was starting to move. And I'm like, I was saying this is it. All right, Parker's going to get it done. All he's got to do is survive, 2-3 rounds. He'll be good to go. He's up on the card. On Moxley card, he was up like five rounds. On most of it, it was 4 rounds, 2 rounds, and then a draw on the third one by the time the stoppage happened when it came to the official judges' scorecard. But regardless of which, oh my gosh, still, he got the stoppage. But let's talk about the stoppage show. Was it right? Was it wrong? Is it a situation where this was very much sketchy? This is very much in contention. And let me tell you this right now. Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. Let me put that in a different way. I'm going to tell you this right now. That stoppage was a bad stoppage. That was a bad stoppage. That was a bad stop. That was a bad stop. That was a bad stop. Oh my gosh. That was a bad stop. Also, we got people in the chat coming in right now. Timmy T, what's up with the man? Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in on this Tuesday afternoon. We appreciate you coming forward and having your voice be heard right here on the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening. Anybody else who wants to tune into the show, hey, come on through. Leave a like and keep on talking. The show is great with you. So we're happy that you're here. But I appreciate you being in here. Absolutely boxing time. No question about it. We got a lot to discuss. Wardley, great performance. I'm just not a fan of the stoppage. I had it 7-3 going into the 11th for Parker. Mind you, I had said that this was going to be a knockout in the 11th round for Joseph Parker, not for Fabio Wardley. Because everything was set up that it was going to happen just like I thought it was going to happen, yet still, he turned it around yet again. Now again, the stoppage. Like you said, not a big fan. I'm a terrible fan of this stoppage because it was bad. It was bad all around. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way that Joseph Parker should have gotten stopped in that point. Now, yes, was Joseph Parker hurt? No question. Absolutely. He was hurt. Fabio Wardley had caught him. I think it was with the uppercut that started that avalanche of offense. So it was 45 seconds, 40 seconds of unanswered punch. Well, not unanswered, but very much dominant offense from the side of Wardley, trying to get him out of there. He was rocked. He was in a bad way. But he had also made Wardley miss nearly every punch in that combination outside of save maybe 3. Then had responded, landed with a hook of his own, fell back into the ropes, not because he was rocked, but this time because he was, he was still kind of hurt, more so because he was tired and wanting to get Wardley to gas out and punch himself out. And he kept on ducking under punches. He kept on blocking shots. Wardley kept missing wildly. The last punch that got the ref to step in was a punch that was blocked with Parker's forearms. Clearly you could see it. From the very angle that the camera angle was at, was the same angle the ref was standing at. And that was not a situation where Parker was in a bad enough state that it should have been that he was going. And you could clearly see he was not getting overwhelmed by the fire. He was surviving in the fire. He was doing everything right. And it was getting ready to beat it. He was about to come on the attack. Because after that flurry, Wardley had punched himself out. If Parker had been able to keep on going, That last 30 seconds would have been Wardley or would have been Parker exiting out. Wardley taking a heavy sigh, and then the round ending, or Joseph Parker lands something that rocks Wardley, who is also fatigued, exacerbating the Sun State going into the 12th round. And then we would have seen Fabio Wardley. He had to grit his teeth again, but now you gave the Hail Mary, the last flurry, the gumption of a second win. You spin it all, and he wouldn't have had anything left. That's what Joseph Parker was setting up, and this was bad. It was so bad. It was so bad. Let me see. Surprise Parker came in almost 20 pounds heavier from his last fight. Well, can you blame him? We were trying to say he got on this type of weight because he's dealing with a puncher who you're going to need some cushion. You're going to need some level of real padding to take on the shock absorption of what these punches are going to be. Because even with Parker gaining his weight, he still got hurt by Fabio Wardley. And Wardley, now it's shown, with him being able to rock Joseph Parker, he's got the ability to punch at the same level of an Anthony Joshua, of a Big Bang Jang, of, I'm not going to say he's as good of a puncher, because nobody is as Deontay Wilder, but at least in that vicinity of some of the heaviest hitters in the game right now at the division. Yes, he fits the bill. He fits the bill, no question. It suits him to be in that domain because he's got that level of power. If you can rock Joseph Parker, you can rock just about anybody in the division. You're a danger, a big danger to anybody in the division. That's just the bold-faced truth. There's no agenda pushing there. And so it made sense that he was trying to gain that weight to take the brunt of the power and to be able to have it so that he can actually rock and hurt one of the bigger chins in boxing, at least in the heavyweight division, in Fabio Wardley. Everything did what he needed to do, except for getting the win. And I'm telling you right now, it's a bad stoppage. It's a horrible sentiment. Joseph Parker, if he had been able to survive, would have won the fight, most likely. After that 12th round, or in the 12th round, if he had been able to knock him down and secure the win on all three judge scorecards, or go to a split decision that he would have had the advantage of, as we heard by the scorecards. In fact, going into that fight, I think into that fight, he was winning that round up until Wardley caught him and hurt him. So, like, he would have been up on all three scorecards had that round had actually ended. We are in the midst of a very interesting road in the heavyweight division right now. Let's be real. We got to talk about it. We have to talk about it. Let's be honest. Also, if you would, leave a like on the stream. Keep on getting the likes up. Keep on sharing the show. But we have to be honest. We got to be honest now. We are in a very interesting sentiment, or an interesting state in the heavyweight division, because now the unexpected has happened. The upset in the heavyweight division that many people thought would not take place has now taken place, and Wardley is now set in line to fight against Usyk. Oh, Lord.
Hey, look at it.
Oh, my.
We got the problems here.
Oh, no.
We got the problems here.
Hey, the unexpected happened. The impossible is here. Wardley, in his inexperience, only been boxing, 10 years? Barely got any amateur experience as well, has now been put in line to face off against one of the greatest heavyweights that we've ever seen. And the greatest heavyweight of this era in Usyk. Period. For the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Barring anything happening. And we see Wardley get put in a similar situation as Joseph Parker, where he gets weighted out, or the opportunity just passes him by. He's going to get it. And if I'm going to be completely honest, it's not looking good. It ain't looking good. It ain't looking good. It ain't looking good. It ain't looking good at all. If you're in the camp of Fabio Wardley, because and I'm going to go back to the statement I had with the Deontay Wilder of the UK and talk about the comparisons I'm having with them. Real quick, after I read these chats, I'd like Caballero versus Wardley winner gets Usyk. I would too, but that's not going to happen. One, Wardley and his camp are not going to let this opportunity pass them by where they risk a fight before getting this undisputed championship opportunity. Not because Wardley doesn't think he can beat anybody. Not because Wardley doesn't want to take on all comers, because he does. Not because Wardley doesn't want to have a name laden with resume, absolutely. But we also understand, but his team is not going to let him fight Caballero. Not because he can't beat Caballero, but because this was the fight he needed to get Usyk, period. Usyk was waiting on this outcome to happen before he gets his next opponent. And so, no, I'm not giving you that opportunity. I'm not giving you that shot. Give me what I feel I've earned. It's the second time I defended my interim championship if I'm Fabio Wardley. I took another brother who was also in position for an interim shot in Joseph Parker. I took him out as well. Even if it's by means of the fight shouldn't have been stopped, guess what? It got stopped. So, I did what I was supposed to do. Give me what I want. And I ain't moving until I get it. That's what it's going to be. I guarantee you. That would be a great fight, but that's going to happen after Usyk versus Ward. I guarantee you, they ain't budget from that. But when it comes to the second question, do you see Wilder or do you see Wardley? All right, wait, hold on. Do you see Wardley and Wilder? Or is that, are you talking about stylistically, traits and attributes? Or are you talking about, do you see both of them fighting each other, Wardley getting in the ring with Wilder? Because I think it's the former and not the latter that you're questioning. But I do see Fabio Wardley as the UK's Deontay Wilder, and I see this, but in the bad way. It's in the bad way. That's the wrong sound. Because you know what? You're going to hear that sound of the bell, everybody's going to be cheering, and then that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be, commentary's going to be sounding like this.
Hey, look at this. We got the problems
We got
here. We got the problems here.
And the reason why it's in a bad way is because the same thing that we had issues with when it came to Wilder, we're seeing some of those things when it comes to Fury. Or when it comes to Ward at this top level. Once he started facing off against people like King Kong Luis Ortiz, look into the prospective career of Deontay Wilder. When he fought King Kong Ortiz, where that point in time was the biggest name, talent-wise, he had faced in his career. Yes, he was the defending heavyweight champion, absolutely. But Berman Stavern was not King Kong Ortiz. In fact, Ortiz was avoided for a majority of his best prime in his career because nobody in the heavyweight division wanted to deal with a 300-pound southpaw counterpunching monster who could knock you out in 2 punches. Nobody who had head movement and footwork that at that point in time was seen as some of the best in the division. Imagine Frank Sanchez, but as big as Martin Bacoli from a weight perspective, but was as mobile to some degree as what we see with Usyk. Not in the same vein at all, but of the heavyweight era at that point in time. Yeah, nobody wanted that problem. Nobody. The fact that Wilder gave him that shot was shocking. Especially with AJ and Fury, big money paydays in line. But when he fought him, you saw the stint of, okay, this is a different level. And we see how he performs at a different level. Got rocked, got hurt, nearly got knocked out. End of the show, got a KO, absolutely. Second fight, he got outboxed for the entirety of 7 to 9 rounds up until he got the 1-punch KO. But this time, it was saying if you didn't get that KO, Ortiz could have ran if he wanted to after round 7, and he would have won the fight because he lost every round. Every round, Wilder lost. Then he faced off against Fury. Jimmy faced off against Fury the first time in that mix. Boom, draw. Afterwards, faces up again against him again, gets outboxed and knocked out. Third time, gets knocked out. Fight of the year, but gets knocked out and gets beat. Then he faces off against Zhang, gets knocked out. Then he faces off against Joseph Parker, gets beat to Kingdom Come. Once he got to that high level, we kept seeing, oh, these deficiencies aren't bad. Oh, that saving grace, that power ain't going to be able to carry him anymore. That ability at this elite level, when you're now facing the people, not just in the same vicinity of the elites, but you are against the best of the best at the elite, which we consider you as, you ain't got the skills to pay the bills. You don't. And he got exposed. You did not learn what you needed to learn, and now that you're here, you never adapted, and you are in a scary place where you're getting put to sleep, and you're supposed to be the heavier puncher. And then the fall from grace happened just like that. When we're looking at Fabio Wardley, this is the second time, I guess, a level of contending status since he's been at the contending level, where he has, with Hooney and now Joseph Parker, where he has had to come from behind after clearly being outboxed and beaten to get a win off of a knockout. And this time, wasn't even because the brother was actually hurt to the point that it needed to be stopped. This time, because of the ref's discretion, you got this victory. You put yourself in a position to get it, absolutely. No question. You forced Joseph Parker to the ropes and you didn't stop punching. Absolutely. But we also understand that fight shouldn't have been stopped at all. And more, we're starting to see the pattern of production follow the same footsteps as Wilder once he's at that championship caliber. And that path of production stops at a certain point with Wilder because now he's just not good enough and he can't rely on that one saving grace anymore, which was the right hand. And for Wardley, it's just if anything lands, any punch, I can get the win. I just got to go for broke. Punch and pray. That's his style. Punch and play. Punch and play. From the standpoint of once he gets past round 5, it's punch and play. And it's not an indictment, but it is it's pattern recognition. It is another instance of a thing I've seen before. And it's going to end against Usyk. We don't see it to the full extent where, yeah, he ain't beating him. He ain't beating him. He ain't beating him. He ain't beating him. He's not beating him. Because and yeah, and again, I see people in the chat. Also, real quick, Fury is cool with Parker. I wonder if he told him to come in bigger for Wardley like he did for Wilder rematch. He might have. And again, it was working up until, again, the stoppage. Like, it was working. Wardley landed some shots on Parker that would have put normal people to sleep. But because of the actual chin of Parker and, again, that shock absorption with that extra weight, hey, he was able to stay up. So it was, and he still had everything that we knew of Joseph Parker with his tool set to fight like Joseph Parker. So he didn't lose anything with the added weight. So it wasn't that it was a detriment. It was just the fact that it didn't work. Again, bad stoppage, but it didn't work. But you don't like the style? No, it's not the style. It is the reliance on it's the reliance on punching on a prayer. I don't like that. It's the reliance on something's going to land, but I keep getting outboxed. Now, here's the thing. Before I do, it's crazy to have not one but two comeback late stoppages when he was down on the cards in both fights. Mind you, this is against stepping up competition. This was the best fighter we've seen Wardley face. We can outright. This was the best brother we've seen Wardley face off against in his career. It was better. And I will even say he performed better in this fight than he did in the last fight with Justice Hooney. Not just because of the KO, but because of the stoppage and KO, whatever the case. Not just because he won the fight by stoppage. He won more rounds in this fight than he did against Justice Hooney. My estimation. He won more rounds in this fight than he did against Justice Hooney. That is an improvement. Where's that? That's an improvement. Against a better level of competition, no problem there. But still, he was down and would have lost had this gone the distance. And more than that, he could not adapt to go and make something new, to get a better opportunity to get something done. Wardley's style is that of a swarmer, aggressive, big puncher who uses his athletic ability to either beat you to the punch or tank your punches and land something. Or even better, make it so that his power is so much of a big threat that you just don't want to throw. So I can just wail away because you're too scared of what's going to come back at me. That's what it's like to fight against Wardley. But to fight against Wardley also means, hey, I can get past these 5 rounds, 6 rounds. This man's going to run out of stuff to do. Run out of stuff to do. He's going to get a second wind at one point, but at some point in time, he's going to be breathing heavy for the rest of for the next 10 to 15 minutes. He's going to be breathing heavy. He's going to be goading to be more defensive, but not because he's trying to be, I'm not saying he isn't trying to be smart. He's being smarter, but he is also trying to buy time to get some breath back in him so he can go back to the offensive onslaught because he is tired. He is tired. And he gets tired. He gets winded. He gets put in a bad way. And he gets to a point where he is relying on his chin alone to make sure he can get through and get what he needs to do. Which he's admitted that's what he does. But stylistically, it's going to fail. It's going to fail. That's the thing. It's going to fail. It's going to fail. We're trying to be unbiased. I love that he's winning. I love that he is indeed gotten to this point where nobody said he was able to get to. Nobody thought that we would ever see the likes of Fabio Wardley get to a point where he's fighting Usyk for the undisputed championship. Not a soul thought that this would be a reality that would happen. At least not this quickly. As I'm taking a sip of my drink, not a soul thought this would happen this quick. Not a soul thought this would happen this quick. We are not disrespecting the rise of improbability that we've seen from the likes of Parker, or from the likes of Wardley. Parker as well for reinventing himself from the losses that he had against Joe Joyce and AJ, and turning into, hey, I became the second best heavyweight in the world. I'm still, many people argue, I'm still third. Even with this loss to Wardley, no problem there. We applaud both of them. We're not gonna disrespect them, but we're also gonna be in reality. Wardley is not going to be able to beat Usyk. He's not. And what somebody said this. Somebody said this about this fight. Somebody said this about Wardley when he's going to fight. Was it Teddy Atlas, or was it another one of the boxing media? The boxing social, one of the boxing podcasters and social media figures. It was either Teddy Atlas or one of the other people. Name eludes me for the concreteness. But somebody, not me, but somebody said Joseph Parker would have been a better fighter to go against Usyk. But Wardley is a better fight going up against Usyk. Because Joseph Parker brings a level of consistency that Usyk hasn't been able to beat from the standpoint of doing everything the right way. Wardley, with his propensity to forget technicality and just be to some degree unpredictable, belligerent at times, where it's just, oh, he should not be doing this, but he's going to do it anyway. Brings a level of X factor, the unknown, into this fight that is something that Usyk may not be able to deal with in the same way as with other fighters that he's fought against, who have all been sound, technical, boom, boom, boom. Again, the biggest time he was in trouble was against who? Daniel Dubois, when Daniel Dubois caught that brother to the body. And again, Daniel Dubois ain't the most technical person at all. But you saw what he was able to do. Controversy abounding with that whole instance. Now, we saw what happened the second time he fought him. Boom, we thought it was a better Daniel Dubois. You got put to sleep, just like he did the first time. Quicker fashion, more dominant fashion, even more of a complete display. But the instance of the unknown plays a factor into what this fight can look like. And people are saying that with Wardley, because he doesn't do everything right, it can make for a better fight. That may be true. But I'm telling you right now, the only way that's going to be true is if he gets able to go for 5. Or if he's able to go for 12, excuse me. Because if he starts gassing out, it's going to be Usyk who puts on the pressure. And if you try to punch him while he's amping up the pressure, all of a sudden now you're going to get pieced up. And you're going to get to the point where if you get into the same tired state that you got against Joseph Parker and Justice Huni, where you were falling out on the floor in celebration, not because you were just that excited, but because you literally spent every ounce that you had left, with the round left in the fight, to go and put it on that one instance, and you did that before as well, and you almost ended up in the same spot. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be a mess. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a mess. You better be careful, because Wardley, you're not gonna be able to do what you've been doing against Usyk. You're just not. You're just not. And I dare say, what he showed in this fight, even with the growth, has showed me now he deserves his spot because of who he beat. No question. But from a talent perspective, this man ain't up here. He ain't Tyson Fury. He ain't Usyk, at least on that level. And he sure enough ain't on not just the current champion, but a potential future champion. Ian Moses. I'm real. Also, let me see. Tell me till you beat me to the punch. Moses versus Wardley. Who are you taking today? Today, I'm taking Moses. I'm taking Moses. I'm taking Moses to town. I'm taking Moses to town. Now, you may say, hey, Wardley has fought at a higher level. Wardley has been able to do this, that, and the third against all these great names for what he's done. It's incredible. We're not taking anything away from that. Absolutely it is. I'm still taking a Talma. A Talma is a better fighter than Ward. A Talma also just handled Dillian White, who, if you say he ain't got nothing else, he at least got a chin on him. And he took him out in one round, even at his old age. And a Talma is a man who has the ability to implement everything that Joseph Parker did. Implement everything from a skills perspective that we saw Justice Huni do. And have the hand speed similar to or akin to the likes of an Usyk, at least around that range, with power that at this point in time, we can fairly confidently say is among the top 5 in the heavyweight world right now. At least it's of that caliber of a Joseph Parker, of a Fabio Wardley, of a Usyk. We got to put Usyk as a power puncher now as well. But hey, he's a full-blown heavyweight. Hey. This man who knocked down Tyson Fury. This man who took the punches to Tyson Fury. This is a man who has been able to rock and or knock out most of all of his opponents since he's been at heavyweight, especially since he's been champion. So we got to put him there as well. Deontay Wilder, of course, because it's still Deontay Wilder. Because what's just as a pure puncher. But Atalma belonged there as well. With the AJs as well. But that skill set is not going to allow for Wardley to be able to do what he's been doing. It just ain't. It just ain't. Wardley has killer instinct. Wardley has an incredible ability to go and finish the show. Wardley has the uncanny ability to have his greatest deficit be his greatest weapon, which is it is guaranteed that I'm going to be either rocked and or tagged at some point while I'm at the ropes. But it's also guaranteed that with that being the case, I am going to put you in the dirt because I'm going to throw with reckless abandon that you're going to have to back off. I'm going to trust that I can take whatever shot you give me, and I'm going to be sure to go at you and keep on fighting up until you go down. Plain and simple. Which, again, is a valiant strategy, and it's worked up until it doesn't. This is why I kept saying and bringing up Joseph Parker. Or not Joe Joyce, excuse me. That's why I kept bringing up Joe Joyce. That's why I keep bringing up Deontay Wilder. Because those are the two people that I see Wardley like. Big, strong, powerful, but at the same breath, it's a man who, once their sticks failed, they had nowhere to go but down because there was nothing else to them. George Foreman had something else to him. Now, I'm not comparing these people to George Foreman from the standpoint of they're not that great or as great as him, of course. But from the standpoint of people think he was just a puncher, he wasn't just a puncher. He could box. He actually had some really good feet. Crazy enough. And some good speed on him as well. And once the reliance on the athletic ability couldn't be the same, especially when he came back, guess what? He adapted. And those other traits started to come out. Wardley, like Wilder, like Joe Joyce, has a trait that is durability, heart, and chin. And power. All of which are great in combination. And my gosh, he can use it and use it well. But at the same vein, just like with them, they had nothing else to them. Had nothing else to them. And when the rubber met the road against the biggest of obstacles, we talking about champs type obstacles. Then we saw that if those things fail, they fail. Joe Joyce was in a prime position to get a shot at championships. Joe Joyce was seen as one of the most dangerous heavyweights in the world. I don't care how you feel about him. Yeah, with his ability to take on any punch, he might have been slow and lumbering, but nothing stops the juggernaut. Wasn't that the term? Hey, that's how it is in the comics. That's how Joe Joyce was. Nothing stops the juggernaut. Once he got moving, you couldn't do anything with him and you couldn't hurt him. If you tried, Joseph Parker tried. And you saw what happened to him. This was what the identity of Joyce was up until somebody was able to make it so that chin became obsolete. And lo and behold.
Hey, look at this! We got some problems here. We got some problems here.
Lo and behold, it took one man not just to stop all that momentum, but to send Joe Joyce reeling from the standpoint of what am I as a fighter. Trying to combine defense and offense in a way that he never had to do before because he was so reliant on that one thing and never learned how to do it before. And now he has to if he wants to keep his contending status and because he can't rely on his chin anymore. And now he got knocked down, by Derek Chisora, who should be out the sport by now, but is getting his 50th fight. Now against, reportedly, Dillian White. Granted, he's had an incredible 3-fight run, but even still, like that, Nobody would have thought that Joe Joyce would ever lost to Derek Chisora. No disrespect to Derek Chisora, but at this stage with Derek Chisora, yeah. No, we nobody thought he would lose. But what happened? His best weapon became his biggest hindrance because he didn't have anything else to him. Wilder, the right hand and the chin or the pop. You need 12 rounds. I only need 8 seconds. I only need 10 seconds. I only need 10 seconds for you to be on the campus. I only need 1 second to see the opening and land. I only need 1 second to throw the punch. And that's all I need. You need 12 rounds. Excuse me, it was you need 12 rounds. I only need 1 second. And I can stop whatever you do. Any moment you got, I can end until it didn't work. Until you never found that 1 second. And Wardley, I am scared it's going to happen to him. Because it's the same issue, though the X factor is there to be a dominant force. He's unpredictable. He has a level of will and tenacity in the face of danger that very few heavyweights in the world have right now. It's an instinctual ability to turn the tables around like that when he should be out on the floor. He's done it about 4 times now in his career. It's more than just a fluke. It's a part of his game, yes, but it's not a part of his game that you can rely on consistently because you should not rely on that consistently. This ain't like Tank where he's learning you, setting you up, and then implementing the game plan to get you out of there. That's different because once he goes and implements the game plan, most fighters don't win around after that. Calculated. You're still fighting from behind, but it's not it's a part of what you're trying to do. Wardley does not want to fight from behind, but it is ingrained in what he wants to, in what he's doing. But against his will. That is not going to work as time goes on. And against Talma, it ain't going to work. Against Usyk, it ain't going to work. And if somebody gets him, everybody's going to be able to get him. That's the thing. It's just going to take one. You think I'm playing? You watch. You think I'm playing? I want him to succeed. It's only going to take one. It's only going to take one. It's going to take one time that he gets into the same position that he got in with Joseph Parker. And he can't pull it out the fire. It's only going to take one. And you're going to see all of a sudden he's starting to lose more. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Fine. But it's only going to take one. And it's not because I want to see him lose. It's because it is going to be predicated on his ability to go and change and add something to his game to keep him from falling behind. Because now you're at the level where you got to have more. And you're getting away with not having more by the skin of your teeth. But it's a dangerous road. If he comes out of this as world champion, I will be shocked as can be. But my gosh, I don't see it happening. And I don't see him beating the Talma if they ever face off against each other. And remember that 2-year plan I was saying? Or 2-fight plan? That we can see a Talma get to a championship opportunity? Let Wardley lose to Usyk. And let a Talma have a great display against a top 15 contender. It's going to be Wardley versus a Talma. Winner gets a shot at the title. And they're going to face off against each other. And then boom, at that point, I beat the man who got to you. Now I want that spot. Don't matter. I don't care who's in front of you. I'm the bigger name. I'm the bigger star. And I'm the guy that you know I can give the best opportunity of a fight against. And I got the public behind me. You think I'm playing? You think I'm playing? You think I'm playing? The very fact that Wardley won this fight has made the road to undisputed for a Talma that much clearer. Because now, okay, we now know on this stint to get to a championship, Wardley at some point in time is going to fall in that vicinity. And with them both also being young, those two can fight against each other within 2 or 3 years, most likely. with the insinuation that it's going to be for a championship opportunity, or at least to elevate into that absolute threshold. That's what it's going to be. Let me see. Feel bad for Parker. He won 6 in a row, taking on great names only to get no title shot. Takes on Wardley, and now I'll get it. Yeah, and again, like I was saying before, that is not fair. We were saying that it should have been that Joseph Parker got the shot before Daniel Dubois. We said it made sense for at least Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker to fight against each other for Daniel Dubois' title. Winner of that then got to go and fight against Usyk. That's what would have made sense. In my best scenario. However, we saw what happened. And granted, I get why Daniel Dubois got that fight before Joseph Parker. Though Joseph Parker earned and deserved the opportunity. But even still, sadly, it's part of business. Bigger fight. Had a story. Rematch. And it was a situation where the brother was indeed, he was looking like I can actually take this brother out. So, why not give him a shot? For the standpoint of Daniel Dubois. But I hate it. And can Joseph Parker come back? Yes, he can. Can he still become a championship contender? Yes, he can. Can he still put himself in place to have the world at his feet? Yet again, to where he is primed and ready to have a championship opportunity in his grasp. It's right there. It can get back there. But it's going to be, like with anything, a longer road. It's going to be a longer road now because of the fact that he lost, sadly. And it should not be that it is this drastic, but it's the truth. If anything, I would love to see a rematch between Wardley and Joseph Parker. If anything, based on the controversy of that fight and of that stoppage, more specifically, I would love to see a rematch between them. Also, because the fight itself was just great. The fight itself was just great. We're not gonna act like that fight wasn't good. We're not gonna act like that fight wasn't something that was like, oh shoot, wow. This was an entertaining affair. Forget entertaining. This is one of the better heavyweight fights of the year. Period. These two are a great match for each other when it comes to stylistic fighting. But, like we always know, and like we always go to show, when it comes to the world of boxing, everything ain't fair. And it ain't right. I know for a fact it ain't right, but that's sadly, it's what we're stuck with. And when we're looking at this, it's just a shame. It's just a shame. It's just but again, he will get back into the title picture. I can almost guarantee he will get an opportunity to get back into he's still in the championship picture. Be clear, Parker's still in the championship picture. He's still there. It ain't too far gone, but he is there. Nonetheless, he's there still. It's just the immediate shot. It's like, dang it, I got to work my way back up. And most likely, he could get back into that name situation with 1 or 2 fights as well. Let's say he fights Daniel Dubois. No, I forget. Daniel Dubois just called out somebody. I can't remember who. Who was it that he called out? Daniel Dubois called somebody out. I can't remember who it was. Was it Tyson Fury? No, it wasn't Tyson Fury. It wasn't Tyson Fury, was it? I'll look it up. Either way, he called out somebody, but he can still. Hypothetically, he fights Parker. He beats him, recovers, boom. He gets it. Hey. Parker's still looking dangerous. Let's see what he can do. All that's still there. It's just, I hate the fact he's going back down the ladder. I hate the fact, but this is the risk that you have when you're facing off against every major name that you can possibly do when it comes to the boxing world. This is why we laud Parker as a phenomenal fighter. Not just because he is a great fighter, but because he's also got, on a name recognition standpoint, one of the best resumes in all of boxing. From the quality of opponents that he's faced consistently. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But this is also what comes with that threat. You are going to face off against people that, hey, you might not get it done all the time. But he's continuing to go against the best of the best, which I can only say I love. I can only say that I love it. I can only say that I love it. Because that's what it should be. That's what it should be. But regardless of which, man, I'm telling you, and I don't want to beat a dead horse. Also, Al Booger, like, good to see you. Hey, what's going on with you? Thank you for tuning into the show. If you're just tuning in, hey, leave a like on the stream. Go ahead and get the likes up. Keep on sharing the show with everybody that you know so we can keep on building up this empire together. We love it. We appreciate it. We're glad that you're here. We want to hear your conversation. We want to hear your input on all of this. But before we move on to the next topic of discussion, the last thing I wanted to talk about when it came to Usyk versus, well, beyond Usyk versus Wardley, which again, Usyk is going to beat Wardley Kingdom Come. I would not be surprised if Wardley got knocked out by Usyk in this fight because of the fatigue factor that has showed up in the past 4 fights that he's been in whenever he's put in a situation where he is struggling to get the KO and it goes past 6 rounds. It's the same thing. It's the same problem. I would not be surprised if we saw him get knocked out. With that being said, going back to the question of Usyk or Wardley versus Talma, if they fought against each other, Wardley is not beating Talma. And I will say that now early. This is not me trying just to be a shock and awe value type of person. And I know I said this earlier. Let me reiterate it to make sure we understand my perspective. Wardley is not beating Talma if they fight against each other. The reason why I say that is because Wardley is going to get not just outboxed, but he's going to deal with somebody that beyond just rocking him has the instinctual ability to counteract Wardley's instincts of being able to survive and thrive by turning the tables in a heartbeat. When Wardley's hurt, it's the most dangerous position he's in all of the fight because he then has nothing to lose and will put you to sleep or try to put you to sleep directly after, not even while he's still rocked. Because it's a different mode. He goes to it doesn't make sense. I can't explain it. He just does it. He just does it. I can't explain it. It's just what he does. But what I can explain is that is an instinctual ability. You can't teach that. You just got to be it. Wardley is able to be it better than anybody else right now in boxing. But Talma's got, my opinion, some of the best finishing instincts in the game as well. And if he recognizes that you're in trouble, it is hard pressed to see anybody, very few people, have the ability to finish the job like Moses Talma. And and what you need to beat somebody who in desperation turns into an absolute Omega level threat when he's at his lowest is to be able to counteract it when you're at your highest, which is when you have somebody hurt, you become an Omega level threat that can't be stopped and you get what you need and you finish the job. That's how you counter somebody who's able to go and thrive when they're at their lowest and turn the tables on somebody who's at their highest. When you at your highest are indeed at the zenith. And as a finisher, Wardley's phenomenal. But incredible when he's hurt. Talma's incredible when he has you hurt. Unstoppable force, meet the immovable object type of situation. That's what this is. But Talma unlike the other fighters in the realm of Wardley when he's fought, Talma's got the finishing ability to be able to be in that fire, in that whirling dervish of violence that we see Wardley go into when he's in trouble and pick you apart. Usyk can do it too, absolutely. But because we're talking about a Talma versus Ward, he can counteract what Wardley does. He can counteract what Wardley does and be able to be in the midst of Wardley's whirling dervish, of Wardley's torrential tornado of pain. Because there's a good argument he might be, not just in the future, one of the best heavyweights in the world, but even right now, he's a monster. And he can counteract the best thing about Fabio Wardley, especially if he goes late in the distance. I'm telling you, Wardley, at this point in time, if I'm wrong and they fight and he beats him, hey, there's nothing I can say. It's like there's nothing I can say with Joseph Parker, because he beat Joseph, he knocked him out. Or you stopped. No, it was, again, bad stoppage that ruined a great fight, but still, he put himself in position to get what he needed to do. It's still a bad stoppage, but he got himself in that position to get that stoppage in the first place. I can't take that away from him. But I know it ain't gonna work. I know it ain't gonna work, because it's gonna be bad. I'm telling you, it's gonna be bad. Absolutely, it's gonna be absolutely horrible. Also, as we're looking at the world of boxing, as we continue to go and unfold and move through, we've had some news of some potential comeback and returns coming down the line. If you did not know, that honestly, many people say should not happen, but regardless of which, it is going to be nonetheless a reality of our current landscape in the boxing world. And that is, if I can get my stuff right here. Oh, no, not there. Oh, not there. Wait a minute, hold on. There we go. Messed up a little bit for a second. There we go. But yeah, in terms of the world of boxing, continuing on with some news and returns, hey, Floyd Mayweather's coming back. Oh, Lord. Oh.
Hey, look at
Oh.
We got some problems here.
Hell. And one of the most shocking announcements I've had. Tell me what? Oh, hold on. We're gonna do this right. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. We're gonna do this right. We are gonna do this right. We're gonna get this. We're gonna give this the screenshot and proper circumstance that it deserves off the bat. I guarantee you that. Where's the thing? Where's it? Let me pull up the screenshot, because some of y'all ain't gonna believe this. But yes, it has been essentially been confirmed, at least in talks, per the words of Mike Carpenter himself, in a situation where many people may question this fight needs to happen, but regardless of which, it's going to happen. But enough teasing you around, let me just show you the graphic right here. Per the words of Mike Carpenter himself from The Ring Magazine. Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, you ain't reading wrong. He's back. After almost a decade since their iconic matchup in the 2010s, Floyd Mayweather reportedly is coming out of retirement to fight against Manny Pacquiao in a rematch come 2026. And right now it's being talked about legitimately as it can happen. And it's going to be on, again, Netflix. If it does take place, that's what's being reported right now. And it is a shock in all type of sentiment, because one, why are all these old folks coming back? What in the world is in the water? And first we have people reigning. First we had consistently people staying at the top of the game. Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford, Arizona Lara, Archer Beterbiev, all of it staying at the top of the regime. Badu Jack is still a champion in a world where we've had multiple different champions under 25 throughout multiple divisions. Makes no sense to me that he is still at the top of the mountain. But again, it's Badu Jack. I'm not gonna say nothing about it because he's like a rock. He just continues to exist regardless of what happens. But everybody else, absolute lunacy. And then we get Manny Pacquiao returning last year or earlier this year, against Mario Barrios, who should now be, in terms of Manny Pacquiao, the 154. He's the 154 champion of the world at super welterweight. It should be that that's the case. It should be that that's what we're talking about. Yet the fight ended in a draw, but still he fought at a draw after being out the ring for almost 6 years, going up against an active, dangerous 6'1", or at least 6 feet tall title contender in Mario Barrios. At the upper echelon of the heaviest weight he's been in his career from the standpoint of the amount of weight classes that he's moved up through. At 46 years old. Yeah, it makes no sense. Yet it's happening. Now we got Floyd Mayweather, who, if my numbers are correct, let me pull up the age right here so I can make sure I got it right, because I don't want to be. He's 48 years old. Floyd is almost 50. Mind you, Mike Tyson is 58, 59 years old. Floyd is nearly 10 years younger, but roughly 10 years younger than Mike, but still it's closer to Mike Tyson in age than he is to Arizona Lara. It's closer to Mike Tyson than he is to Manny Pacquiao in age. Yet, he's talking about making a comeback return. Now, here's the thing. Should this fight even be happening? If I'm being completely honest, no. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. I'm gonna be completely honest. Will we watch? Yeah, sure. As I book say, I'll watch it, I guess. I get you. I completely understand. Will we watch it? Most likely, if it got announced, if it got confirmed, if everything actually happened, sure. We'd watch it. We'd see it. We would witness it. But it shouldn't happen. And it's not for the reason that you may think. Because in this situation, Floyd Mayweather, what has he done to earn a shot against Manny Pacquiao at 154? Now, that sounds insane to say. That sounds ridiculous. I understand. Hey, what? Why? How can you say that about Floyd Mayweather? He beat him the first time. Well, what are you talking about? He's one of the greatest fighters in history. I mean, people's pound for pound, he's number one for a lot of people. He's at least in the top 10 for a lot of fans. They got him in the top 5. What do you mean? How can you speak against Floyd Mayweather saying that he shouldn't be able to do X, Y, Z? He can do whatever he wants. Calm down. Everybody take a breather. I asked why he deserves a shot at Manny Pacquiao because what has he done in the time that Pacquiao not only got a championship, I guess he threw his power around. Yes, he did, to get a shot at Mario Barrios. But he contended, let alone most, if not all people, are saying he beat Barrios and should be a world champion right now. He is also in talks to have, because of that performance, a lined up fight with Rolly Romero next year. I believe in January. To go through and have a title shot and potentially take, 147? Is it 140? I think, yeah, 147. Rolly's a 147-pound champion. So you move back down to 147 and get a belt, hypothetically. But he did work to get there, at least. He at least put on a display. When everybody said he shouldn't be doing anything, to say, you know what? Hey, there is a level of competitiveness that Pacquiao can still fight against. What has Floyd done since that stint with Pacquiao coming through? Again, to deserve a shot against what is considered a current in this situation, because of context, multi-divisional title contender, who again just put up a winning performance that was not given the correct respect by the judges in a draw against a reigning champion. And Floyd Mayweather hasn't fought anybody outside of exhibitions or the late Gotti III, who sadly passed away. This fight shouldn't happen, not off the basis of, oh, they're too old. We already saw that. What? That's a cash grab, money grab. All that may be well and good. But also, Floyd, in this situation, would be a retired fighter going up and trying to come back in a spectacle affair against another champion. To a degree, somewhat like what we see with Jake Paul going through right now. Hasn't earned a shot against some of these people. They ain't earned a shot to be making the money that he's making, but still is able to fight and get what he's got with some of the biggest names in sport when other people may deserve. When you draw some parallels, something like that exists. But on top of all that, yeah, Floyd is 48 years old. Floyd, the thing that made Floyd Floyd, and yes, he did recently. I believe he died. And some people are trying to say it was some sort of conspiratory thing, but I'm not even gonna go down that road because Lord knows I do not. Lord knows I don't want to get involved in that. Let me check and make sure. Wait, he's not dead. Wait, so who died? Wait a minute. Hold on. Time out. Wait a second. I remember all throughout social media, it was saying, did they not say that he, okay, maybe, okay, excuse me. Hold on. Backtrack. Hold on. Wait a minute. I remember it was all over Twitter that John Gotti, same one who had fought Floyd Mayweather, had died. Now, unless it's a different John Gotti, or I just read the name wrong entirely. Shoot. The world. Hold on. See, now, hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a second. Wait a minute. So we're doing some live, for those of you tuning in, we're doing some live research real quick because I'm trying to make sure I got my fact straight. I'm saying somebody killed over because I thought I had seen a bunch of people say that he had died. I need to make sure. Hold on now. Wait a minute. If I'm wrong, please let me be wrong. Please. Lord knows. Okay, all right. I guess I'm wrong. Excuse me. My apologies. Thank goodness I'm wrong. I ain't got a problem being wrong. Thank gosh. Look, look. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. That false news did not happen. Somebody may have died, but it wasn't John Gotti III. I thought it was. I was sure it was. I'm going to find out what I saw trending on Twitter. Like, number 1, number 3, something was going insane. Saying that somebody had passed away, and I was sure it was him. But it's not. Thank goodness. Thank the Lord. So we good. All right, great. Got that figured out. Regardless of which, he still fought against John Gotti, the alive John Gotti III. So, because of that, that's been the best competition he's faced off against in what? Almost 8 years. Like, Same thing still applies. This fight, in my opinion, shouldn't really be happening. Now, hold on now. Wait a minute. This does bring up an interesting sentiment. Because you gotta look at this from another perspective as well. You gotta think about it. You gotta think about it. You gotta think now. You gotta think. If we saw this fight go through, first off, who do you think would win? Current day Pacquiao versus current day Mayweather. In your estimation, understanding what they are at this point in time in their careers, who do you think would win? I would bet that most people would be picking Manny Pacquiao to beat Floyd Mayweather. Second time around, even with Floyd being the guy to beat him the first time. Due to the fact that he's active. See, right now, Pacquiao, most people would be thinking the same way. Right now, Pacquiao. Because, mind you, in most people's eyes, and we're going to talk about this way later on, but the very same sentiment of why I was saying that Pacquiao lost against Floyd Mayweather, by the time he fought him, he was just slow enough. Again, we've had this conversation. I know. I'm just giving you my opinion. I know you may not agree. I know you may not agree. I'm just giving you my opinion. The same reasoning for why I said Pacquiao lost against Floyd, in my opinion, because it wasn't the best Floyd or wasn't the best Pacquiao, and two, it was, though that Pacquiao could beat everybody else. Again, he beat Thurman and other people as well. Absolutely. But he was just low enough against Floyd Mayweather, who, again, is a different breed, to be able to say, yep, I can take on that. Because now you drop down just enough to where, yep, I know I got you. Speed was just slightly off. Footwork just was a tad slow. And everything was just to the threshold that, yep, I can handle it. Because my reaction time, my speed, my defense, I can deal with what you bring to the table at this state. Now that's flipped on its head when it comes to Pacquiao going up against Floyd. Pacquiao lost a step, many steps. Pacquiao has not been, at least from the exhibitions, hasn't been nearly as instinctual as we've seen him in the past with his defense. Not Pacquiao, I'm sorry, Floyd. Floyd hasn't been nearly instinctive with his defense. Floyd hasn't nearly been instinctive with his ability to move his feet. Floyd has predicated himself to just blocking punches like Canelo with the high guard, which, again, against bad boxers, yeah, it's effective. But against active people, now we got ourselves some concerns. Floyd himself has become more flat-footed. He still looks like he can move pretty good for his age and pretty good against the competition that he's faced off against, because that competition is a bunch of bums. It's just the nature of the beast. Deji, YouTube star, brother of KSI, fought against him and looked good. Why? Because it's Deji. John Gotti, both instances, look good. Why? Because it's John Gotti. The Japanese brother that he fought against way back in the day, after retirement, who was, 20, he was some undefeated record as a kickboxer. And he also outweighed him by like 30 pounds and knocked him out easy. Because respectfully, this wasn't his sport, at least at that point in time. He wasn't used to this. And you also were very much the bigger man, willingly. Knowing that he fought at a weight class lower than you. He's looked good in a lot of these other instances because he has been fighting good competition. At least we can say with Pacquiao, he's been fighting people even in the exhibitions bigger than him. Even if they ain't boxers, people that he, honestly, from a size perspective, should not have any business being in the ring with. From the standpoint of, hey, brother, I know it's an exhibition. I know this brother ain't a fighter, but he's also 6'2". He's also fighting at 185. And you, last time we saw you, before, again, Mark Barrios, feet weren't looking good. But he still took him on. The script has been flipped on Mayweather being in the same deficit that we were saying with Pacquiao. We were just too slow, and now he's at a point where, yeah, I can get you. Mayweather's in that same vein now. Now this Pacquiao, yeah, he can get Mayweather. He can. He can be able to handle that, at least in many people's minds. But I'm like, if he does this, hypothetically, if we see Floyd beat Pacquiao, say Pacquiao beats Wardley, Pacquiao then fights Floyd, and that make a fight on Netflix, Floyd wins. Floyd takes the belt. Well, now what? Now what? Let's say Floyd comes back and he actually is successful fighting against Pacquiao and he takes the title. If Pacquiao has a title going into that fight, now what? Well, if that fight happens at 154 and we then see Floyd get the belt, all of a sudden, that division's looking mighty interesting, ain't it? That division, hey, look, that division looking mighty interesting, ain't it? Buckwam, Manny Pacquiao, Sebastian Fundora, Keith Thurman, with Boachuk, Virgil Ortiz, Boots Ennis, and Floyd Mayweather potentially going and fighting at 154, shoot at 147, Floyd versus Teofimo Lopez. Let's say this fight's at 147, then Floyd versus Teofimo Lopez. Huh? Floyd versus Brian Owen Jr.? Hey, wait a minute now. Hold on. Hey, we got ourselves all that stuff that I said about how he could have fought Spence when he fought against McGregor. And a couple other plethora. Keith Thurman. He could have fought a plethora of other names after he had fought or before in lieu of fighting Conor McGregor. And he should have been fighting, especially when he had a belt, more stiffer competition at their best. Well, guess what? This would be, hey. If you get a belt in this day and age, just like I would have said with Pacquiao, hey, but if you win this, guess what? You gonna have to run into Brian Owen at some point. You better fight him. Just like we have a champion. If you got the gold, guess what? You got to defend it. No matter how big the threat level is. Floyd would be the same thing. And boy, we got some major matches that I would love to see. Oh my gosh, that would be, imagine Floyd versus Devin Haney. Well, actually, you know what? Hold on, pump the brakes. We may not want to see that. Hold on. We may not want to see that. We may not want to see that. Maybe not that fight. Maybe not that fight. Maybe not that fight. Woo! Maybe not that one. Maybe not. I dare say if that happened and Floyd became a champ, we could potentially see even Tank move up to 147. Be like, hey, you know what? Hey, Floyd, I'll fight you at a catch weight. Let's get it on. Mentor, student versus master. Let's see what you got. Hey, I'm just thinking out loud. But could be very interesting. Regardless of which, his comeback has been rumored for a couple years. We didn't think it was actually going to take place. Good gosh, now it's actually looking like it might be reality. And I don't think that fight should happen. If you want it to happen, then I need to see, just like I wanted to see with Pacquiao, before you ever stepped in the ring with Barrios, get yourself a legit fight. Even if it's against a bum, just to go and see what you can do. We don't want to waste time. We were scared we want to waste time with Pacquiao. Lord knows, thank goodness we did. But Floyd, we don't know. Because of how your body of work and because of how your fighting style is so reliant, not just on IQ, but on reaction time. With the natural erosion of time, taking that away, what could you do? in today's game if you really do want to come back. Know what Pacquiao's, at least what his level is now. We don't know what he is. We don't know what Floyd is yet. So he wants to come back and get that fight. As much as it's financially, it would make sense. And we don't want this to be the spectacle type of affair. Hey, do the work. Do the work. At least get a fight. At least do something. And then say, okay, hey, I'm calling out Pat. Okay, fine. If it happens, then we'll deal with it. But before that, I don't think this is a good idea. My humble estimation. Don't think it's the best of ideas. But again, as we keep on going through, I think that there wasn't, unless I'm wrong, I'm trying to make sure there wasn't anything else that I needed to cover in the world of boxing as a whole. I almost forgot. This is actually a great point that we can actually go into championship rounds a little bit earlier than we normally do on this show. What's this? Let me see what else. Hold on, wait a minute. I'm trying to make sure I got the thing right. It's here somewhere. Hold on. It's here somewhere. There we go. We actually going to go to championship rounds a little bit earlier on this show. We're going to go and jump into it right now. Yeah, it's only an hour 30, but of the big things that's happened, it's been about the biggest things that we've had. Fabio, Wardley, Usyk, Joseph Parker. Who can he beat? A Talman in the mix as well. Fabio versus Wardley. Also, I don't know if that fight. That would be a good fight. I don't know who wins that one. Fabio versus Wardley. I don't know who wins that one. Though that wouldn't happen. Though that's not going to happen next. I don't know who wins that one. That would be interesting. That would be a good interesting fight. But even still, regardless of which, we got more to come on the show. Like with some news revolving all these rumors. Well, let me rephrase it. Rumors regarding Boots and another potential opponent, which is asking questions about his career going forward. But again, it's still the championship rounds. We are into it right now. Whatever you want to talk about, movies, sports, television, video games, boxing, basketball, NFL, anything under the sun, whatever you have as a discussion question, further insight, discourse, all of it, you can put it right here in the show. We can talk about it right here for the world to enjoy. And again, shameless plug, leave a like on the video if you're liking what you're seeing. Keep on commenting, keep on chatting, keep on sharing the show with everybody that you know. Keep on hitting the notification bell. And if you want to help support the channel, we got Cash App. There we go. We got Cash App. We got PayPal. We got links down below in the description if you would like to come and support anything we'll do. And it would mean the world to me. Absolutely. Also, but as we keep on going through, Boots has some interesting sentiments, or at least opponents, coming down his way. And one being Charlo. That's right. Further delving into this drama with Charlo and who he's going to fight, the whole cavalcade of what's going to come about, we now got at least rumored reports. I'm not saying it's confirmed, but rumors have it. Charlo wants $10 million to fight against Boots and is up from its offer of $5 million. Now, why is this something to discuss? Again, it's a rumor. Not even know if it's speculative. This is something that I did not realize might be a concern when it comes to the world of Boots as his rise in the world of 154 and just boxing as a whole. Now that he's at this highest threshold of marketability, hype, pomp and circumstance, and whatnot, as the stage is set for him to fully arrive and thrive. Especially after that knockout with Lima in the first round in under 2 minutes, which was insane. Though he should have handled his business, he did it in flying colors. This, for Jamel, is an egregious overpayment for what he's asking for going up against Boots. I'll say that right now. I will say that right now. This ain't disrespecting Charlo. Charlo, $10 million for this fight. There wouldn't even be a championship fight because he ain't got to build around Boots or Charlo. Brother, no. No, absolutely not. You do not deserve that type of money for this fight. You know, you're still trying to rebuild your own self from off the backs of when you just laid down and died against Canelo. Your stock is dropped immensely, and even more due to just straight up inactivity. Again, I don't know why. I'm just telling you what's going on. $10 million for a fight with Boots Ennis is egregious levels of greed compared to the level that we're seeing Boots at, which again is high, but again, it ain't that. This is a situation where it sounds like Charlo might be trying to price himself out so that he doesn't have to fight Boots. Because of the fact that Boots is that big of a threat, that's going to be a dangerous situation. It's going to be a bad, I'm telling you right now, I think it's going to be a bad night. I think it's going to be a bad night for him. I think it's going to be a really bad night if he fights up against Boots Ennis. But if he wants to run to the top, he's got to run through this smoke. Are we going to see other fighters also do this type of thing to Boots Ennis now that he is firmly in position, like he should have been a while ago, to get a dominant shot at a title? Like, it makes sense that, yes, he should be in the running, but also people got to fight him. And I don't know. With numbers like this being thrown out, I don't know if it's going to be easy for him to get these types of fights. Because if other people start making moves like this, he's going to be weighted out. He's going to be isolated. He's going to be iced out of the division because people are asking for too much money. Unless somebody comes through and a promotion says, "Hey, you know what? Yeah, we'll pay. We'll pay that. Come on." Because Boots is at an interesting crossroads in his career, and what that crossroads is, I will tell you right after this. Let me read you all his chats real quick before we keep on continuing. Excuse me. Over 2 years since his last fight, and he's still just running his mouth. Yeah, no, it's a shame. What you want from me? $10 million? Yeah, no. Marshall Matt, I completely get it. You right? You asking for 10 million? 10 million shekels? 10 million bars of gold per se? And we ain't seen hide nor hair of you in the last over 2 years and a half, coming up on 3. We've seen your brother more than we've seen you. That's a problem. That's a dynamic problem. It sounds like you don't take your money and run like you did last time, going up against the likes of Canelo. I don't need to fight no more. I'm going to stay and bask in my winnings. And it's a shame. Sounds like he's trying to get over again in this type of situation against the likes of Boots. To a degree, it might be because he doesn't want to fight the brother. I'm scared it's going to happen for the other people in boxing. And here's why. Like I said before, Boots is at an interesting crossroads in his career. He's at a point in time where he's up here, right? Name, big, recognition, reaching the heights of his talent. Has the hottest ticket in the game. Seen as one of the most dangerous people in 154. Talked about with Terrence Crawford already at 160. 68, excuse me. And we want to see that fight. All of that's well and good. All of that is well and good. However, we also have to look at it from this perspective. We're dealing with the Boots Ennis right now, who he is one win away from being the man. But nobody wants to be the man to give him that win. Get what I'm saying? It's like when Shohei Ohtani, for my baseball fans out there, when Shohei Ohtani was at a crossroads in time where he was on pace to be the first, 51 season in baseball history, 51 home runs, 51 steals, and people started to not throw a strike at him and walk him because they didn't want to be the one to get the hit, to set the record. Barry Bonds, when he was coming up on Hank Aaron's record, at times would get walked. He was already one. He's already is the most walked player in MLB history. some insane level of percentage of his on base was strictly off of walks. People didn't want to hit to him. When he came close to the record, people didn't want to be the guy to go and be the man that threw the pitch that got the home run. People didn't want to do that. So he's at pace to make history, but nobody wants to be the man to give up that history. Not without saying, if I'm going to go and do this, and Rick's being a mark on this man's career, I'm going to make some money out of it. And if you don't, he's going to be iced out. I'm scared that the rest of the division is going to try to do that. Now, I'm not saying everybody's Charlo, but I'm also saying that it can be, we've seen it happen before. People don't want to fight. People don't want to make a effort to go against somebody who's seen as, oh, he's going to be a killer. He's going to be up and coming. This man is arriving. I don't want to be the man to put him on that pedestal. I got too much to lose, and if I lose to him, my position is going to go in the gutter, because I'm going to be forgotten. You know why? Because now he knocked me off of his list. Nobody's going to care. I can sit pretty and high in my status as a boxer right now and my position in the standings, but if I lose, I'm gone. Not because I'm going to just retire, but because I'm going to be in his shadow. You don't want that. A lot of fighters don't want that. I'm not calling people scared. I'm not calling people afraid. But I am calling it a business decision to make the smart move. Everybody's willing to move up to fight Crawford at 160. Though they've been fighting at 154 for years. And they could have moved up to 160 a while ago. They could have moved up a while ago. But now they all want to move up to 160 because, oh, I can get a shot at Terrence Crawford. Everybody wants a piece of that pie because you get the amount of money. It's worth it. And if I beat him, oh my gosh. But if I lose, I at least get the good thing out of it. It's a win-win situation regardless of the outcome, because even if I lose, I get paid more money than I ever made in my career. That's why everybody wanted to fight Canelo. I'm going to lose, but I want that bag. If the opportunity fails, I'm going to get it. I'm going to still get paid and be set for life. I'm not saying everybody was only relying on the money. Yeah, there were many people showing up wanted to have an opportunity to be the man to beat Canelo, absolutely. And they wanted to beat him, absolutely. But there's a good chunk more than you may realize that did not think they could beat Canelo. They just wanted to get the bag so they could have the money. And they'd be like, yep, this is a sacrifice I'm willing to make because I'm going to get paid and I don't got to do this no more. Crawford, that's the same way. And with Boots, he's that big of a threat. The implications of if you beat him is insane. But the risk reward is not balanced out to where people think it's worth it at all. Charlo was well without a major payday. So he won't fight him. And he was just calling him out. Again, this is rumors. We'll see if this is true as time goes on. I repeat, this is alleged rumors. This is seemingly something that is going awry. We'll get confirmed probably in a couple weeks whether or not that's true or not. I promise you. Like, it's the same thing happened with Boots versus Timothy Lopez. Same thing happened with Teal versus Devin Haney. The real came out at some point in time. But Charlo, track record, this could be the same thing. And other fighters could follow suit, and Boots may get iced out of the division. Because no, he's not worth the risk. He's too good, and he's not known enough, and you don't bring enough money, guaranteed, for me to be able to say, yeah, this is worth me fighting this killer who can go and knock me out and take my spot. I ain't doing that. That's what it can happen. I don't want it to be the case, but man, he can be avoided. Let me see. His walk count is completely off the charts. No one is walk count. Hold on. Walk count. Term I'm not familiar with. Hold on. What counts off the charts? No one is comparing with. A little bit confused about this comment. Now, if it's in my ignorance, I do apologize. Please, I do apologize. I'm not putting two and two together, or this is something that is previous conversation, or maybe just something new to me. I just completely missed. I apologize if I don't know what you're saying, because I don't know what you're saying for this statement. And if it was something in regards to what I said earlier, I don't forgot. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but last thing with Charlo is, again, beggars can't be choosers, and you've already called him out. And $5 million, if that's the first offer, is more than enough. That's more than enough. That's a good payday for somebody who hasn't fought in almost 3 years. That's a great payday. And this is the opportunity where you kept on talking like, I'm gonna take over the division. Well, this is the consequences of that. Guess what? Now you gotta put up or shut up. You gotta put up or shut up. I don't care what you think about Boots as a hype job or reality. You can say I'm going and I'm being too much on him. You can say I'm too high on him. That's perfectly fine. I'm giving you my unbiased opinion. But what I'm also saying is I don't care how you feel about him. The man's got to get some shots. And at this point in time, he can't get no shots. Bakram ain't fighting nobody right now. We got, well, actually, no. Actually, before I even continue, that is actually false, because we got some news a couple hours ago? Was it a couple hours ago? Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait. Hold up. Here we go. Yep, I'll take it back. No. We do got Bakram having a fight. I almost forgot to say that. Hold on. It's right here. Bakram, as we go into your picture, Bakram actually has a scheduled fight finally with Josh Kelly. Hey, we got something. Thank gosh, we got something. Planned for the 24th. Well, planned between the 24th and 31st of January over in the UK for Bakram's title. So, hey, we finally got something for Bakram Murtazali. Thank gosh. Thank goodness. We didn't know what was going on in that route. We didn't know what was going on with that whole situation. Now we at least got something. And he's back, and he's going to be back in the ring. If everything keeps consistent. Deals imminent per the Ring magazine. So, hey, good to go. But regardless of which, he wasn't fighting for upwards of a year. Fundora was tied up with Keith Thurman. We had Charlo was out and not a peep. You had Crawford going up to 168. You had Boachuk losing now to Adams, which that fight can still happen, but even still, the momentum has now shifted. You had a slew of opportunities, and then somewhat, still a bit self-sabotage by Boots' part in not trying to go into the deep end immediately. Though next, again, he looks like he's getting virtual Ortiz, but even still. I'm not saying that fight's going to fall through, but there's a possibility. That things could go awry. Because it's a volatile state of being right now. Boots is one fight away from being the hottest ticket that everybody wants. At the same time, nobody wants to be the man to cash that ticket for him and be the person that was the catalyst to everything we see going forward. Nobody wants it. Because Boots is at the cusp of reaching the peak form. Everybody has a stint of time in running boxing where they are the best that they've been. Period. Boots is at that zenith right now. This is where the run of accolades should start. This is where the point in time of legitimate accomplishments, opponents, and quality should start to take place around his career. Also, excuse me real quick while I'm adjusting the camera. Yep, should be. Should be A-okay now. My apologies. But even still, this is where the metamorphosis of Boots Ennis as a whole takes place, starting at 154. Nobody wants to be the man to say I was the coming out party. I was the man that was the herald of his evolution. I was the man that came in and became the opponent where everything changed. The fight that changed everything involved me. I don't want to be that. Not if there's not a belt for me to come and grasp. That's what the case is. And I'm scared it's going to happen with Boots. I don't want it to, but it's a frightening possibility. It's a very frightening possibility. I don't want that to happen. Do not want to happen at all. In the slightest. Oh my gosh. Please don't. Please don't let it be. So Charlo, if you won't come, you come out and fight. Take that $5 million. Because you're also at the crossroads too. You lose. You lose. Any fight.
Hey, look at this. We got some problems here. We got some problems.
You lose any fight. This is going to be you. Oh my gosh. Oh, he's done. For most boxing fans. You ain't really got the luxury right now to be demanding stuff like that. Paydays like that. You just don't. And you're also too volatile to risk trying not to get a potential big opportunity when it's available, and then you go through and I lost against a lesser opponent. I'm definitely done. It can happen. It can happen. We've seen it before. It can happen. We're uncertain about you, about what you are right now. There's a lot of what ifs surrounding Charlo. I wouldn't say you can really be a chooser when it comes to dictating what you can be and who and what you fight for monetarily. Because Lord knows it can be a situation where, hey, buddy, you don't even touch $5 million again. Not because, you don't deserve it, because no other fighter can bring that amount of money and you don't even get to that level again unless you just fight outright best you can. Because you threw yourself in the lines and now you got to back out now. Back out now. Don't back out now. That's what I got to say. But even still, I want to hear your thoughts and opinions still. We're still in the championship rounds. Like I said before, we still got a whole bunch of stuff we can cover. But we don't want, like I said, we don't go through, we don't press, we don't push, we don't pry. We let the show come to us. We're natural. If nobody else has anything they want to say, hey, we can end this off. We've covered a whole bunch of stuff. We can also save some stuff for Thursday, because trust and believe, there is still a litany of things to talk about in the world of boxing that we can delve into. We can talk about Tyson Fury being still ranked #1 by the Ring Magazine and him potentially. There's an opportunity. Even though Tyson Fury said, I'm not coming back. And hey, I'm inclined to believe it. The brother still ain't announced his retirement. The brother still is ranked in a position where he could get a title opportunity against anybody. And most people say that he beats most, if not all, except for Usyk, in the heavyweight world today. What if we saw Wardley versus Fury, hypothetically, happen after we see Wardley versus Usyk? And that's the fight that actually leads to the trilogy. Who knows? It's a whole bunch of stuff. Again, just involving with Fury being there. We can also talk about more with Floyd Mayweather if you want to. If not, I get it. Because like I said before, people don't get why it's happening in the first place. But with all that being said, we don't want to push and pry the show. If there's anything else you all want to discuss, we can talk about it. If not, hey, we'll do one last call. Last call for the championship rounds. Nobody else has anything else that they want to say. I think we're good enough. We can wrap this show up, send it home, and get on out of here. Absolutely. Let me just do a real quick check to make sure I got everything I need covered. Cause I don't wanna miss at least most of the big stuff. If I can. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait 1 minute.
Hey, look at this.
Wait.
We got some problems here.
Hold on.
We got some problems here.
Got one more thing I do need to discuss. While it may not be, probably talk about it more on Thursday, we got to talk about Floyd Schofield. Cause that brother done went and got himself plumb hurt yet again against all odds, somehow, some way. Where's it? Let me see. Let me put. Where's the news? Where is the news? It's here somewhere. Wait a minute. Hold on. We got it. We're moving through. We have the update on the world of. There we go. Yep, got it right here. Also, Ramon Vasquez, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, hold on, wait a minute. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. So glad you're with us on today. We appreciate you so much coming in on the show. Again, we're in the championship rounds right now. We're doing the last calls. We've talked about Fabio Wardley. We've talked about Alexander Usyk. We talked about them fighting against each other. We talked about Wardley versus the Tom. We've talked about the bad stoppage that was in that fight, at least in my estimation, with Joseph Parker. We've had a bunch of debate, a bunch of things about what Wardley's going to be able to do going forward. My concerns with Wardley comparisons to Deontay Wilder, Wardley comparisons to Joe Joyce, a bunch of different topics. We talked about Floyd Mayweather coming back to boxing, going up against the likes of Manny Pacquiao in 2026, what will most likely be after Pacquiao's fight with Rolly Romero, which again is still being, if all these talks happening at the same time, reportedly it's still being discussed. And we can see that fight with Floyd with a title on the line if Pacquiao does go there. But regardless of which, it's been a whole slew of information, conversation, outright debate and fun. So we're so happy that you're here joining with us on. Hopefully leave a like on the stream. Hopefully you keep it on sharing the show. Hopefully you like what you're hearing. No question about it. But let me keep on going to see what you guys. Oh, you just said what's up. Well, what's up to you? How you doing? Appreciate you coming in. But real quick, news before we get on out of here. News about Floyd Schofield. That brother is hurt. Yes, yet again.
Hey,
My gosh.
We got some problems
Yet
here.
again. For the third, I think this is the third fight in a row. I think it was second or third fight in a row that Schofield has been hurt again, or sick, or injured prior to a fight happening. And now that fight with Jojo Diaz that was scheduled to happen on the undercard of Virgil Ortiz versus Erickson Lubin now is off. It's off the card as a whole. And man, I don't like this because boy, he got sick against Shakur. Then he got hurt against somebody else. Then he fought against Farmer, knocked Farmer out, had momentum swinging, and then now got injured. So I'm like, that's frustrating. I'm not gonna lie, that's frustrating. This is the frustrating injury because it's got me questioning. He's got a lot of stuff's been happening to this cat, and he's only 22, 23 years old. He ain't old. He's already having this litany of instances going about with him. Now, granted, some stuff is out of his control. I'm not saying that it is his fault, but I am saying that. Remember just how we have questions about Floyd, Shakur Stevenson walking through his career and getting injured with his hands constantly, and we're like, ooh, is it going to be a situation where his career is going to be cut short due to the fact that he's always hurt and something's always going wrong with his body? Not that we're blaming him, but it is a valid critique. Not even a critique. It's a valid thing to look out for because we don't want that. We don't want that to happen. We don't want it to happen. With all that being said, just like we had a conversation with him, I had to start having this conversation with Floyd Schofield as well. This is the second or third time in a major fight, or in a semi-major to major fight scenario. He's been hurt, and he's had to go and recover. Yet again, Sam Goodman got held against him, against Inoue. Because the brother, every time he got a chance to fight the biggest fight of his career, he was hurt. Then he got hurt again. Same instance, same opponent, same thing. I'm not saying that this is conspiratory. I'm not saying, oh, he's trying to pull out the fight. I ain't doing it. But that's what the public will start saying. People that do propagate those types of sentiments and thoughts are going to be saying, he's running from these fights. He don't want to actually test himself. People are going to start saying that, and it's not fair. But it's the fact that it's the nature of the fandom of the sport, sadly, that's what happens. And I don't want Schofield to be putting that in that type of box. But I also don't want this man's health to be compromised every time. Right now, it's getting a little bit too consistent for my takes to have this man constantly hurt. I don't like it. And it's like, it's concerning. I can't lie. It is concerning. And it gives me a little bit of unease for how the rest of his career may go. He's still so young, but my gosh, these injuries keep piling up at this rate multiple times. Ooh. We're gonna have to start having some conversations about it. Not that we want to, but we're gonna have to start talking about it. Hey, is it good to keep on going like this when you keep on getting hurt? Or is it going to be a career cut short? We don't want that to be the case, but it could be a possibility. Let me see. The fight is not done till it's done for. Parker and Torres call out a timeout. Let me see. The fight is not done till it's done for Parker and Torres call out a timeout. Hold on. Time out. The fight wasn't over till it was actually over for Parker. I get that. Again, I think it was a bad stoppage, but still, he ain't making no excuses for it. I'm not either. Good win for Wardley. I'm not going to hold it against him. But Torres, are you saying Torres needs to call out Italma, or Torres has called out Italma? Make that perfectly clear. Because if he did call out Italma, hey, that's going to take some guts. And I'm happy that he did. But he's going to lose. If he doesn't call out Italma, they should fight each other. They're both on the rise. Though, again, Italma's way higher. But still, both on the rise. Both similar resumes. But might be better that he doesn't fight him. Might be better that he doesn't fight him. I'm going to be real. It might be better if he doesn't get that fight. At least not now. Because that's going to be I'm telling you, Torres is not ready for it. I'm telling you, Richard Torres is not ready for that fight. At all. Should he take it? Yeah, call him out. Yeah, go ahead. But are you ready as a talent? You ain't. Do you need to fight him? Yes. Are you ready to fight him? No, but you still need to fight him. Do you have the skills to beat him? Absolutely not. But are you in a position where, you both of y'all are around the same length of time and similar record? Yes. Y'all are young? Yes. Y'all are both up and coming? Yes. One of the brightest stars in the UK? One of the brightest stars in boxing? Yes. Or at least in the heavyweight division in boxing? Yeah. But he ain't ready for that. He is not ready for that. Torres will die if he fights against a talent. He'll die. He still has to fight him, but he'll die if he does. Especially now. Especially now. Let me see. Schofield pulled out twice this year. Again, he has. And so it's like, wait a minute. Hold on. Richard Torres called out okay. So it happened. Great. Phenomenal. Incredible. Yes. That's what we want. Great. Torres, you called him out. You said you want that smoke. You're an Olympian. You are the last American hope when it comes to heavyweight boxing, at least for the current crop of competitors. Cool. You're a swarmer. Great. You're undersized. Underdog. Phenomenal. You can get to a point where you become one of the more marketable people if you can put on some better performances. But even still, hey, career is bright in front of you. It's bright in front of you. But go ahead. Make it happen. Because again, the fight should happen. I'm glad he called him out, thankfully. But I'm telling you right now, he is not going to beat him. He is not going to beat him. He is not going to beat him. If anything, if Eddie Hearn, is it Eddie Hearn or Frank? I forget who was in charge of his career. If Eddie Hearn or Frank Warren are smart, they will go through and they will have a fight in America with Atama versus Richard Torres. They'll come over here and they'll set up a situation where Atama can get a viral win, a viral knockout, going up against one of the biggest markets in the world when it comes to the States, and making him seen by a whole nother sect of people. Everybody keeps saying, everybody from America keeps saying, you ain't made it, you ain't done nothing until you've done it here. Well, fine. I'll beat your best prospect here in your country, and we'll see what happens. And I guarantee you people will become fans. They will become fans, I guarantee you. Let me see. Virgil versus Lubin. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that more on Thursday. Because we're at the end of the show today. We're going to talk about that more on Thursday. But Virgil versus Lubin, I got Virgil Ortiz winning that fight. I do. Now, is it going to be a tough fight? Yes. But if we can see Fundora stop and knock out Lubin, I sure enough think we can see the likes of Virgil Ortiz stop. And also, because Virgil Ortiz is better defensively, I don't think we're going to see Virgil Ortiz get put down against Lubin, unlike with Fundora. I think it's going to be a more well-rounded win for Virgil Ortiz. It's still going to be a great war. Absolutely. It's going to be a great war. But I got Virgil Ortiz winning that fight. I truly do. But let me get also, is it Kiski? I think it's Kiski. I think it's Kiski. I think that's how you say it, Kiski. What's going on, brother or sister? How you doing? Good to see you. Whoever's behind the screen, appreciate you coming here on the show. We're so happy that you're with us on today. Everybody else chatting and streaming, please get the likes up. Keep on sharing the show. Do what you do best and make it so that this show lives up to the moniker of the hottest show in all the globe. Right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform. We appreciate all the input. Hey, keep it coming. Absolutely. Again, this is the last call for the championship rounds. So get your questions in now, because we are going to end it in a couple of minutes, and then we're going to be back here on Thursday and Friday. 3 shows out the week, 3 days out the week, all for your viewing and listening pleasure to make your day go by just fine and help you be informed on the hottest stuff in the world of boxing, basketball, and beyond, with all the debates, conversations, opinions you can handle, and having a laugh and having some fun while you're at it. Absolutely. But let me keep on reading what you all got to say. Like with Von Greenhill, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for coming into the show. Appreciate you coming back. So happy that you're here. Let's see what you got to say. Do you think Xander is a good challenge for Boots, or is he still too green? So, as a champion, yes, he's a good challenge. But as an experienced fighter, no, he's not ready for Boots. He's not ready for Boots. He is still, and it's not, I don't want to say it's his fault, because he's the youngest champion in boxing right now. At least in men's boxing. Excuse me. He's the youngest champion out there. And so he's good enough to get a belt this quick. We've been watching his rise as a fighter. I can't put that past him. Hey, the brother's got skills. And he's a big cat. That's a big dude. From the standpoint of height at 154 and frame. Yeah. Now, physically, he looks the part. And he can fight so fluid. He will be a good challenge for Boots to deal with at 154. But there's also a reason why I'm saying that would be the easiest belt to take outside of a boss when it comes to becoming a champion in Boots' framework. Because Boots would not just athletically way better than him, but also experience-wise Xander still makes mistakes that Boots will be able to capitalize on. Not saying he can't capitalize on everybody's mistakes, but Xander specifically has not seen nor has dealt with enough competition to handle Boots coming into his domain this early. He just has. But again, it doesn't matter because if he's got a belt and Boots comes to him, guess what? You gotta fight him. Ain't nothing you can do. Especially if he becomes a mandatory, and the only thing you can do is come through and be like, what? You here? All challenge. It's the weight of the belt. It's the weight of the belt and the weight of the belt. If you can stave off fighting people that you ain't ready for, I get that. Because again, Xander's not ready for him, though he is good enough to be he is a great test for Boots, but he's not good enough to beat Boots. But even in that same vein, buddy, you still got to fight him. Ready or not, here he comes. You got to do what you got to do. And that's the nature of the beast. It's the nature of the thing. And so it's a shame. But Virgil right now would be a great, or not Virgil, Xander would be a great opportunity and a great quality opponent for Boots to face, no question. But he's not ready for Boots right now. But it doesn't matter because he's going to have to be ready because Boots is a championship contender. And ranked number one in multiple weight class, multiple sanctioning bodies, including, I believe, Xander Zayas. So, yeah, he's still too green. But he would still put up a good test. But he can't beat him. He can't, not right now. Not right now anyway. He can't beat him. But let me see. That's going to be an explosive fight. But Virgil will stop Lubin. I agree. Hey, I agree. We're thinking the same way. It's going to be fireworks all day, all night. But he ain't going to be, I don't think Lubin's going to be able to get this win. Let me see. What's going on, Legend? Also, what's up? How you doing? Also, I think Madrimov beats Boots since Madrimov has a lot of similarities to Karin. And I also see that fight as his comeback fight. Ooh. Wait a minute. Now, see. This would be great talking points for we have more time tomorrow. You know what? We can delve into it. Boots versus Madrimov. Hey, let's talk about it. Come on, let's have a discussion. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation real quick. Boots versus Madrimov as a fight is a fight that you ain't too far off on, at least in my estimation. Now, I don't think that Madrimov will beat Boots Ennis. But I'm also not going to rule out that he can. Why do I say that? Well, if it was the Boots, with the Boots that faced off against the likes of Shugajan, both instances, yeah, he struggled both times. He still won them, but he struggled. Oh, he struggled mightily. Oh, he was frustrated, annoyed, absolutely livid with the movement, with the trying to track and hunt down Shugajan, having to deal with the angles, punching and being able to get out the way. All that stuff that Shugajan was able to do. Boots hated it. Boots hates fighting people that can move. He hates it. He despises it. That's why he fought David Avenese in the fight after. That's why he fought David Avenese in the fight afterwards. That's why he fought Ramon Lima. Oh, I'm sorry, Ramon Villa. After, I think that first fight was Shugajan. It's like, brother, no. He hates it. Similar to Teofimo Lopez. He does not like people that move. Now, Teo can handle it better, as we've seen now. But he didn't like it. Sandor Martin. Ortiz gave him a litany of trouble. Many people felt he lost those fights. I felt he should have lost the Sandor Martin fight definitively. He should have lost that fight with Sandor Martin. But regardless of which, still, Boots and Shugajan is like Boots and Madrimov, with Madrimov being even more hard to track and even tougher to have as a pinned down opponent. Now, Magimov also, with all that movement, gasses out a lot quicker. As we saw with Terrence Crawford and Virgil Ortiz. You can use a sickness thing. That's perfectly fine. He was sick in that fight. Sure. It still happened on more than one occasion. Once he starts becoming flat-footed, he becomes beatable. Getting to stay with him, that's where the struggle comes. And he's got some good pop to him. Don't forget, he still had, and before Terrence Crawford, he had 10 fights. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. He had 11 fights. 10 wins by knockout. Undefeated. Great amateur background. Great amateur record. But Boots and Magimov can definitely be a concern. But it would be a bigger concern for me if it was still that Boots that faced off against Sugar Sean. But it's not that Boots anymore. That's the thing. Also, hi, you a legend. Love your content. Hey, look, I appreciate it. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're liking it. Hopefully, you keep on wanting to stick around. And hopefully, you're liking what we're saying. Whether you agree or disagree, I just hope you're enjoying the discourse. I hope you're getting something out of it, regardless of which. Even if I don't got to change your mind, I just want you to enjoy it and be like, you know what? I'm getting some good stuff. Hopefully, that's the case. Hopefully. Can't say for certain, but hopefully, I'm doing just that. But this is not the same Boots that faced off against Magimov. That faced off against Sugar Sean. This Boots, though, no longer has those same deficiencies that struggle against a mover. This Boots doesn't have the same deficiencies that made that Sugar Sean fight so close the first time and still a struggle the second time. Yes, he still did face off against Avanesian and Stanionis, the second fight, two come forward fighters, but understand, even in those, especially in that fight with Stanionis, you saw a visible difference in his handling of not just the moment, but of poise, calmness. He no longer looked frustrated with what was coming at him. Even with a style that was what he deals with the best. We still saw that same level of annoyance, that same level of, I'm not going to do the right stuff because I don't care. I just want this to be over. We didn't see that anymore against Stanionis. And we didn't see that anymore against Lima either. Yes, he got Lima out of there. He fought quick, but it's how he did it. Look at the expressions on his face. Look at the calmness in his eyes. Look at the poise, and he looks like he's thinking about everything, which he wasn't doing before. He's thinking about defense. He's thinking about looking for what you're going to do before you do it. He's trying to be anticipatory. He's trying to be active defensively. He is trying to use his athleticism to its maximum while not only relying on that anymore. He's not the same guy that fought against Sugar Sean both of those times. Now, I'm not saying that style still is not going to give him a hard time and trouble. But I am saying it's not going to be nearly as much trouble because that Boots was not the Boots that we're watching evolve in front of our eyes today. This Boots is able to handle that, what Magimov can bring to the table a lot better than he would have if he was still stuck in the same mindset and the same mode of activity as he was with Sugar Sean. He ain't the same guy. The same stuff doesn't affect him the same way, not just from a stylistic standpoint, but from a mental acuity. Having the wherewithal to mentally be locked in, regardless of how frustrating something may be, he didn't have that. Now he's got that. At least what I can see, he's got that in there. And that makes a world of difference when dealing with tough styles in fighting. Crawford had that same type of expression all of his career, but especially against that Magimov fight. You know what? Because he had mastered the mind. Like he did against Canelo. He mastered the mind. And when it comes to Boots, I'm not saying he's there yet all the way. He's not there yet all the way, but he's getting there. He's getting there. because he's getting there. That's what makes this so special. That's why I'm getting more confident that if he fought against Majimov, oh yeah, he can lose, but I don't think he will. And more definitively, more importantly, I think he'll win definitively against a style that should give him a world of trouble. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But from what I'm seeing and how he's growing as a fighter, the same stuff that gave him trouble against Shukajan was because he wasn't able to keep his composure and dealing with trying to track somebody and dealing with a mover. But now he's got that level of composure down while still being aggressive. And he's not thinking the same way. And that makes a world of difference. That can make him handle Shukajan not easily, but very much in a better fashion than he would have had that handling of Majimov if he wasn't this type of mental fighter. It's not the physical side I'm concerned with. It was a mental ability to deal with that. That was having him frustrated. That looks like it's starting to get washed away, which is great, which is so good. But let me keep on reading. I agree with everything you say. You know, well, I appreciate it. I'm just a humble man. I just can only say what I think. If you agree, great. Hopefully I'm giving you information. But like I said, I don't think I'm all that. I'm just trying to make some dough, make some money, and do this for my career. And more importantly, hopefully leave a mark in the sport as a whole, on the sports media landscape as a whole, and with you all along for the ride, making your sports enjoyment even better. That's all I'm trying to do. But let me keep on reading. Let me see. I'm in Rhoda. What's going on with that? How you doing? Thank you for tuning into the show. Let's see what you got to say on today. I think Wardley might not be the most skilled, but he has heart, and you can't teach that. And you're absolutely right. You can't teach. He has the heart of a lion. He has the heart of a menace. It's horrifying. Having him in trouble. Crazy enough, is the worst standpoint you can have him in, which is insane to say. In fact, I'm gonna talk about this a little bit more, but let me go back to the comment section here. Standing on isn't in Virgil's level. That's just simple fact. Oh no, that's true. That's true. And I'm gonna get back to your comment real quick. But going back to excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm trying to catch my breath. Trying to breathe. Going back to real quick with Standing Onus thing. Yeah, Standing Onus is not Virgil Ortiz. I completely understand it. I'm not comparing the talent level to each. I'm simply saying that the poise in what you go through when handling these types of fights, whether it's not just with competition, but with the ability to stay composed within yourself, that we weren't seeing in the other two fights. When he faced off against Stanionis, who was the best fighter he's faced in his career, he showed that and more. He's not Virgil Ortiz. He's not Majimov. He ain't Fundor or anybody else, but we see that this up here, the mind of a fighter, specifically in the mind of Boots, is turning into a real weapon because he's able to control his emotions and his frame of thinking while in the midst of a fight better than he was in the past, which is very good. At least for me, what I see, which is great, which is why I'm very excited for how he's going to be going forward. But going back to Wardley, and I said it at the start of the show. You can go back and listen to what I said earlier. But Wardley is a fighter who you can't teach heart. It comes from somewhere that is innately in you. You can't teach what he did to Joseph Parker. I can think it was a bad stoppage. It was a bad stoppage in my estimation, definitively. But even still, you can't teach that he put himself in a position to get the rep to stop the fight when it seemed like he was on the brink of not just exhaustion, but he was going to lose. If that fight had gone to round 12 and Joseph Parker survives, he wins that fight outright. He wins that fight by a majority decision or split decision, whatever the word it is. He absolutely does. He was the better fighter. But Wardley willed himself to victory. I can't take that away. But what I can take away, like I said at the start of the show, I can take away the fact that the heart is all he's got when it comes to getting into a new mode. He looked better than he did in this fight than he did against Justice Huni. There's I have no problem saying that. But the same thing happened, just like with Deontay Wilder, just like with Joe Joyce, and just like with other heavyweights and boxers as a whole, who they're predicated on will. But that will, at some point in time, has got to be backed by a level of added substance. Wardley's substance is power. No issue there. But once that runs out, if you're only relying on something's going to land, at some point in time, it ain't going to work. Huni, it was round 9. But the fight before Huni, it was round 7. Oh, excuse me, it was Frazier Clark. I'm sorry. It was Frazier Clark. And then even that fight with Frazier Clark, you went the distance the first time. Somebody wasn't able to go and you weren't able to put him out. And it went 12 into a draw. It's getting longer and longer. And later in the day, they're just starting to pull this stuff out. You know why? Because it's getting less and less effective. That your heart is going to win it all on its own by itself. And just like with Joe Joyce, that chin was the same thing that we see with Wardley now. More experience, sure, but that chin was all he relied on defensively and power. I can walk through you and I'm too strong. You can't do nothing with me. I'm too strong. I'm slow, but it doesn't matter because I can close the distance regardless because I can just walk to you. And you can't push me off of you and you can't punch me off of you. And that worked up until it didn't. It worked up until it didn't. Wilder, the straight right hand, and having the will to say, I only need 1 second. You need to be perfect for 12 rounds. I just need to be perfect for 1 second. That worked until it didn't, and then he could never adapt afterwards. And then it stopped working. Heart, you can't teach heart, but you gotta also teach something else to make that heart even more effective. Heart makes it so that you can will yourself to victory. But you don't want to have to will yourself to victory every time out because you're behind. That just isn't good. Heart is great because it can get you when you do everything you can and you gotta dig deeper. You can just go. But also, all the greats had heart, but they also had insane talent and adaptability. Even good fighters, same thing. Wardley, phenomenal heart, but the brother, if he doesn't add something else substantive from a skills perspective, this run is not going to last long. Just like with Wilder, it's going to hit the fan at some point. It's like with Joyce, it's going to hit the fan at some point. And once it hits the fan and your chin don't work no more, what can you do? And the answer at this point in time might not be anything. Because the last 2 people that have fought in the same style as Wardley, guess what? Once they started losing, they kept losing. Once the downward trend started, once they reached the top, they never got back up. That's the thing. That's the thing. And it's frustrating. But man, it's a danger. It's a danger for Ward. I'm telling you. The heart is, I love it. I'm not speaking against it like I hate Wardley. I'm happy Wardley's where he's at. And I want to see him succeed. But I also can't, I'd be remiss if I didn't tell y'all, if he keeps relying on stuff like this, the fact that he got this knockout was a miracle. And it wasn't even a real knockout because the fight shouldn't have been stopped. He goes and he does this against Usyk. Guess what? It's not going to work. It's not going to work. He does this against Ajit Caballero. It might not work. A Talma might not work. It might not work. And it's like, man, it's frustrating. Because the high is the high, but man, I can see it going bad. I can really see it going bad. But let me keep on reading what y'all got to say. How do you see Ben versus Eubank Q going? Ben could possibly KO Eubank this time. I forget. Is it at one? I can't remember what weight class is it. Is it at 168 or is it lower at 160? I can't remember the actual weight of it. But could Conor Ben knock out Eubank? Is that okay? So it's okay. So it's at 160. It's at 160. Okay. Ooh. Shoot. That. Man, I don't know. Can Conor Ben continue the success that he had towards the end of the fight with Eubanks? Or is it going to be that Eubanks, off of the success that he had earlier on, fixes what got him in trouble in the latter half and makes so he's able to really control everything that Eubanks or that Conor Ben wants to do to make it so he doesn't even get to him? Not becoming Eubanks. Conor Ben, he's going to get on the inside. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Absolutely. But it is. I'm interested to see how Conor Ben goes about offensively. More specifically, Conor Ben had his best success when he made Eubanks miss coming in on the inside. Eubanks I think it was the hook. I think it was the hook and the uppercut that was giving Eubanks the best success. But off of slipping or rolling under the hook or the uppercut was when Eubanks was put in some major trouble. If Conor Ben can continue that going into the second fight, oh yeah, we got ourselves a. Hey, look. Hey, we got some problems. Eubanks gonna have some problems. But it is, can he do that? Can he do that? And that's why I'm concerned. I gotta look at that fight some more. I gotta rewatch that fight again, to be completely honest. Because I've been leaning towards Eubanks in the rematch. Just like the first fight. Because he was able to mitigate and control Conor Ben in a way that it was too late by the time Conor Ben got around it. Eubanks can improve on what he did to control and keep Conor Ben at his mercy. Conor Ben can also improve what to do to counteract it, but it's going to be a lot more difficult. And it's... But, just like I was saying when we talk about heart for Wardley in a bad way, not because it's not good that he has it, but because it's not backed by something that can accentuate it and he's got to go do it all the time. This is the complete opposite. Heart on Conor Ben's end. Yes, we can talk about the PEDs. Yes, we can talk about the substances and steroids and all that stuff. The eggs that he was eating every day, which again is both-faced a lot, but even still. Since off of that, yeah, sure, absolutely, he ain't been what he was. Definitely at moving up in weight, it's a challenge. But what he does bring, if he adapts that with the heart that we already know that he has and showed in that first fight with Eubanks, yeah, he can get that knockout. He can get this victory. He can. Oh yes, he can. Oh yes, he can. My gosh, he can. Boy, it's gonna be a time. It's gonna be a time and a half. I got Eubanks winning right now. But it's predicated on the adjustments I expect to see from Eubanks. If it ain't much, it's gonna be Conor Ben. It's gonna be Eubanks again winning in a very similar action-packed event. But there's a real window. There's a real window that we could see Eubanks get put in some real hot water. Real hot water. With the inside adjustments that Conor Ben makes, and also using his jab more to get on the inside instead of just solely prioritizing slipping him and blocking to work his way in. But again, I'm gonna rewatch the fight to get some more notes on it, because that fight's it's coming up. It's coming up. It's coming up real quick, and so we're gonna have an exciting thing for it, and we're gonna have a breakdown for it in a couple. I think couple weeks, we're going to have a breakdown of that fight. Like full-blown. End-to-end breakdown. No, like we always do on this show. That's going to be a barn burner. Oh, buddy. I can't wait for that fight. I can't wait. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Let me see. I think this will be the last question before we get out of here, because we don't want to overstay our welcome. And got to be sure I can put all the stuff up and then retool for Thursday. We got so much stuff we can talk about as well on Thursday as well. So we're going to wrap send it home after this question. Let me see. Do you think Michaela Mayers becomes a 3-division champ this Thursday when she fights? Ooh, May Spencer. Yeah. I think she becomes a 3-division champ. I think she becomes a 3. Now, this is one of those fights, like with Martinez and Billy. Initially, I said Billy was going to handle Martinez with the greatest of ease. And then I said, wait, you know what? It might not be as easy as we may think. Similarly, I was saying that Michaela Mayer was going to go through and be able to walk Spencer. No disrespect to Spencer. I just think Mayer's that talented. But something in the back of my mind's telling me it might be tougher than it may seem. Might be tougher than it may seem. I still got her winning. Still have Mayers becoming a 3-division champ. But I'm going to be hesitant to say that she walks through Spencer. Now, if she does, great. Phenomenal. Hey, my initial inclinations were right. But I'm going to rely on what I'm feeling now and what I'm seeing now. It might not be. Hey, Mayer, you better bite down, and you better bring a lunch pail. Something's telling me this ain't gonna be easy. Something's telling me. Beyond just being a championship fight, this ain't gonna be easy. If I'm wrong, hey, great, you exceed the expectations, which is phenomenal. But hey, but be careful, because this fight could turn into a real work, real quick, and I think it's gonna be tougher than people may expect. I say it's tougher than what I initially thought. I think it's gonna be by unanimous decision, but it's gonna be work. It's gonna be work, but she gonna get it. Watch. She gonna get it. She gonna get it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but she gonna get it. I think she's gonna get it and become 3-division champion. But boy, it is going to be a toll to take. I think it's gonna be a toll to take. We're gonna see how it goes Thursday, and also talk about it Friday. And then also, get ready for Eubanks. Get ready for November 22nd. Get ready for Benavidez Yard. We got a whole bunch of fights. And now we potentially get ready for Floyd versus Mayweather, or Floyd versus Pacquiao, which could actually happen. I mean, it's just a slew of things coming down the line, left, right, and center. Inoue versus Nakatani, also potentially being able to happen early January. We got a litany of stuff. Don't forget Inoue versus Dave Picasso. It's just a banger after banger after banger of fights get ready to happen. And we're going to cover it all with you on this show. But for right now, we're going to go on and get out of here, because it's been a phenomenal show. But we gotta end it off, and we gotta get home. We gotta sit at home. So with all that being said, this has been another episode of The Watchable with me, your host, Jean Welch. We appreciate all of you tuning in and listening to the show. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your effort. Thank you for being involved in the conversation. If you want to support the channel while we're getting monetization correctly put in place, we got Cash App, we got PayPal, we got links down below in the description for you to come on and support if you can. Whatever you can give will mean the world to me. We don't get super chats and stuff. It's coming. Don't get it twisted. It's happening. But for the point in time, we're gonna do what we gotta do. But even still, leave a like on the video before you get on out of here. Subscribe to the channel and come on and join the empire. Hit the notification bell. Be sure to share the show with everybody you know. Comment what you liked and didn't like about the show, and be back here on Thursday. We got more about boxing and the sports world as a whole that we are gonna cover. Thank you all for tuning in. Oh, I almost got the end credits. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for listening. It's been a phenomenal time with you. We got to do the pound for pound chatters of the week. At number 3, it come to Honda. At number 2 is Timmy T. And at number 1, again, for the 3rd week in a row, it is Al Booga. Crazy enough, has now officially been a 3-time pound for pound number 1 chatter in the world of the watch report for us commenting and being a part of the conversation. We appreciate it so much. We're so happy that you're here. Well, thank you so much for all of your support and all of you coming in. Again, I think it's Kiski came in at number 4, and then Ramon Vasquez came in at number 5. All of you all who chatted, we appreciate all of you coming through. We appreciate everybody who came in and supported, and we're just happy that you all came in for the ride. But again, I've been Jean-Luc Welch. Y'all have been wonderful. Peace and love. Oh, we are out here. Yes, sir. We're going to see you all on Thursday. Be safe. Be blessed. Be back here. Same time, same place, same channel. We're going to be doing a whole shebang when it comes to the world of sports, boxing, and beyond. And hey, peace and love. We out.